Hello and welcome to my channel, Mother Mary Tarot. I am Mary and I was called tonight to do a message from Persephone. I was not going to do a reading this evening. I had a big gym session and walked home and I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. And I kind of thought for a little bit that I was going to be called to just rest for the night, but this nudge kept coming through from Persephone. So if you're watching this, first of all, I don't use any hashtags or anything like that. So if you found this seemingly randomly on your For You page or whatever you want to call it on YouTube, then it is very likely that this message here is for you. So earlier I got this message from Persephone that was all about learning to live in hell. Okay. So if you're watching this, you are somebody who has been through a lot, and you are somebody who's probably continuing to learn how to live through a very difficult situation. And it quite literally feels like you're having to live amongst hellfire. Okay. And it's interesting because the message that's coming through is actually very, it's funny, it's very dualistic, because even though you are living through these difficult circumstances that you're in right now, it's like you have evolved and adapted to live in this environment that otherwise you shouldn't be able to, right? It should not be possible for what people would describe as a human being to live in this situation, right? It's like, okay, so the message from Persephone is that you're coming to the understanding that, like, say if we're talking about Persephone herself, 222 on the clock, as I'm saying this as well. It's like God has led you, just like Persephone, to do what you have done, to experience the things that you have experienced, and choose the paths you have with certain people, places, and things that you've gone through or you're continuing to go through for a reason. It's not like with Persephone, she's like, you know, the reason why her story gets kind of muddled is that, you know, originally a lot of people said, oh, you know, she was never meant to live with Hades, and, you know, she ended up down in the underworld. Okay. She ended up being in the underworld, and her mother Demeter was very upset that this happened. She accepted the pomegranate seeds from Hades, and that was why she ultimately had to stay down there. Now, what this ties to in regards to what this message is trying to convey is, it's like you may reflect on where you're at and you may think, you know, if I had never accepted a deal with the devil, say, for instance, you ended up being in a relationship with somebody who mistreated you, and you're still connected to them. Say you've had children with them, right? And you're still connected to them through that thread, right? Regardless of if they're like actually in your life or not physically. And it's like you continually accepted the abuse or the behaviors, the bad behaviors, or the demonic, I don't know why I'm getting caught up here, because it's like, it's weird. It's like, it's almost like this message doesn't want to get out in some kind of way. But either way, it's like you accepted this demonic behavior from someone or people, you know, could be multiple people involved. And, you know, sometimes you might be thinking through your healing, like, if I had only not accepted, you know, whether it was material comforts, whether it was manipulation, whether it was comforts that were offered to you, hence the pomegranate seeds. You know, you may never have been in this situation to begin with, but the message from Persephone here is that you were there for a reason. You accepted that for a reason. This was part of your path, okay? And it was the same for her. That's why now a lot of people argue that, no, Persephone wanted to be in Hades, or with Hades, sorry. Persephone wanted to go to the underworld. Yes, she did, because she was guided to do that. And that's what I'm trying to ultimately convey in this message, 5:33 on the clock when I said that. It's like God wanted you to do the things that you did because it was part of your path. There is something here about completing a soul mission through these choices that you have made. And if you're somebody who spends time kind of having difficulty releasing the guilt or the shame or whatever difficult emotions might be attached to the idea that you have made these choices and now you're stuck somewhere, then the biggest message I can give you through this channeling is that you are going to have a much easier time getting to a place of acceptance over this path once you realize that you were always meant to walk that path. Yes, it has had its pain and suffering attached to it, and it may still continue to have certain amounts of pain and suffering attached to it. But ultimately, it is going to be the greatest teacher of your life. Okay, and you are going to do something with that through turning that pain and suffering into power on your path. So that is the main message of this channeling right now. You know, so it's not that you wanted this for yourself necessarily, but it's something you and God, which to be fair, if we're being honest, that's not the, you know, those aren't really two different things. But it's like, it was always part of what you came here to do, okay? It's always been a part of your journey and the way that you are going to come into your highest light and resonance in the world as it is now in this timeline, on this timeline, okay? So now that I've gotten that first bit out, I was called to get my fairy tarot cards out. Persephone was like, get the fairy cards out. Because I feel like someone here is heavily connected to mythology and, you know, creatures that live in the multi-dimensions that are surrounding us that we don't see or connect with all the time, okay? Some of you who are watching this could have a very deep connection with the Fae, actually. You could be someone who has had experiences where you have actually communicated with the Fae, okay? You may be very connected to Persephone herself, okay? You may have worked with her. But what I'm getting is that there is a very interesting message that is going to come through these cards right now, okay? It's so weird because, like, in my previous readings, like, I've had a lot of these tarot decks kind of put away because I wanted to sort of manifest moving out of the place that I'm in right now. And it was a long time ago now, probably like, I don't know, last year, that I put a bunch of my decks away because I have a lot of tarot decks. Not as many. I don't know if I have as many. Maybe I have as many oracle decks as I do tarot decks, but it was like I just kind of put away some of my decks because I just thought, you know what? I don't need it. Like, live in a very small place. So it's like I don't have a lot of space to put all of my decks that I have here. And it was so funny because earlier Persephone was just like, get the other decks out and use the fairy tarot cards for this reading. I'm like, okay. 9:33 on the clock. So yeah, divine guidance is coming through. All right. So what do we have for this collective that is drawn to listening to this? Okay, so we have the Two of Summer in reverse. Now in the upright, it says falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. You know the message I'm getting straight away. There may be somebody here that is watching that is actually already in a really, I'm getting sticky situation with somebody in a relationship. Now, this card denotes romance, and I do believe that if you're watching this, you may be already in, let's say you're already in a marriage or in a very committed relationship, and you have been feeling more and more recently that you're feeling like it's more and more difficult to back out of the situation because of how much time and energy you've invested in it, but you've been knowing for quite some time that this is not working. This is not what you want. This does not feel good. Okay, this person very likely does not treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And, you know, it's very relatable in the sense that a lot of people on this earth right now are in relationships where it is not working, but they stay out of convenience. And this is where that pomegranate seed narrative comes in, right? Because you're continuing to accept things from this relationship. It could be anything under the umbrella of like the 7 deadly sins, say. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have the resources, or you feel like you don't have the resources to leave or to start over in some way, shape, or form here. And it's very, very hard for you to see a way out. As somebody with personal experience with this type of thing, I can tell you right now, yes, it will be difficult, but God will show you the way, okay? If you truly know that you don't belong somewhere with somebody, you will be shown a way out some way, shape, or form. I will give you a perfect example. I was in a marriage, an 11-year marriage, and it was horrible. It was narcissistically abusive. And it was awful. The longer I stayed, the worse it got. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I was like, oh God, like, and then I finally said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I need to find a way out. Now, I'm not going to add a ton of detail, but God sent my father here because I live in Ireland and my family is in the United States. My dad was already planning a trip to come and stay with us for a few months, because you can stay up to 3 months, okay? And we were already having our problems, and I was already on the brink of, I'm done. I can't do this. And when my father was here, COVID hit. And at almost exactly at the moment that he arrived was the exact moment that, because I was trying to make it work with my ex, he begged me to go to marriage counseling. He begged me to make it work and everything because he didn't want to lose me and blah, 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 all that bullshit, right? But it came to a point where when my father arrived, it was just so bad that I said it has to end. So either way, if my father hadn't have been here, I would not have found a way out the way that I did, because I did not have the resources. And luckily, my father was able to help me with those resources to say, this is done. And I mean, there were still a lot of pitfalls involved in that. But in general, it happened because God knew I was ready to face my fear about living in a country on my own without ever having any experience being on my own, being a single mother, paying bills on my own, doing this, doing that, right? And you know, I'm also, I've never been formally diagnosed, but I'm also neurodivergent. So like, and also my parents never really taught me how to be independent. Like, I never moved out of my house before I moved here. It was literally from parents' house to moving here and living with my ex. Well, we got married and we lived together, but either way, I lived with him for that 11 years and he was in charge of everything. And I had no bank account. I had nothing. I literally wouldn't have been able to escape without my father. So for that, I am very grateful. And God gave me that on a silver platter. It was just meant to be. That moment was, bam, this is time, you know, because my ex wouldn't pay. He refused to agree to pay me, pay the rent in the house that we were in at the time of the marriage, right? Because I had said to him, look, you need to move in with your mother. You need to get out of here. We need to be separated. We need to be done. It was that bad. So either way, I have experience in this situation, and I think that, it's over. It's over. Whatever this is. This doesn't have to be romantic. This can be in a family situation. You could be somebody who lives with your parents or with siblings or other family, and it's not working, and it's meant to be undone, and it feels like you may have already been experiencing horrible shit, because at the end of the day, my life has not stopped being difficult, even though I've left. You know what I mean? So like, yes, there are difficulties that are going to come with you leaving, but it's going to be far worse if you stay. Okay. So what else do we have for this collective? We have Seven of Autumn. Okay. So that's the Seven of Pentacles. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So there is a need to be very patient here and to invest in doing whatever is needed in this situation for you to do what you got to do to get out. Okay. You may think, like, for instance, in my situation, and I can always kind of bring it back to me, we're all connected. So like, I can relate to this reading just as much as anybody watching this. When my ex finally agreed to move out because my father was like, look, I'll pay the rent, just go. It took a very long time for me to find a place for me to move into. And I had to go through I had to be very patient and go through a lot of different steps to make that happen. So this is like a situation where there is some planning that needs to be done. There are some different practical steps that need to be taken in order for you to move forward. Okay. We've got the Queen of Summer in reverse. Listen to your heart, intuitive insights you can trust. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. So even in the upright in this deck, there's a lot of overgiving energy. And in the reverse, I almost feel like the message is, if you are somebody who is in a situation right now where you are overgiving and you're not putting your needs first, you're being told that that has to stop now. This is the full moon in Aquarius. Now, this is a timeless reading, so if it's not a full moon in Aquarius at the time that you're watching this, no big deal. But what I'm feeling here, if you are watching this near or on the full moon in Aquarius, it's a case of it's the end of a cycle here. The full moon is all about endings, okay? There's also somebody who could be very emotionally disconnected from you on purpose, okay? There's somebody who may ignore your needs or your emotions or the way that you feel about a situation, and you're being asked to leave that behind, okay? What else? Another reversal. We have Six of Spring. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring reward, success, and public recognition. So this is what it looks like in the upright. Very ornate imagery here. Sorry, my ring light's kind of... But in the reverse, I feel like it's a message of both not recognizing your worth, but also somebody else who is... It's like they're purposely doing things to get your attention or to have your attention on them in this particular situation. It's very ego-driven, very narcissistic. It's like if your attention pulls away from them, or like I said, if this is a group of people, and it could very well be, it's like they keep doing things on purpose to get you to get drawn back in here, okay? And to overgive your energy some more. Give me one more for this row. We got another reversal, the Chariot in the reverse. That's Cancer, by the way. So Cancer could be significant. This could be a family situation or a home situation that you're trying to get out of and that you feel stuck in and that you feel like you're living in hell on earth. But listen, it is necessary, okay? Success that comes from dedication to self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. So in the reverse, you're not being appreciated at all for anything that you're doing here. Maybe you feel, like I said, in this message, like you feel like you're stuck in a hellscape. And I feel like while the hell is worse though, when you're in or around, I shouldn't say in or around people or in spaces and places where this energy is, oh, keep doing this for me, keep doing that for me. You could even be overgiving to children. You're not taking enough time out for yourself here. And I feel like you're with somebody or around some people that they exacerbate the situation. Okay. What is the Two of Summer in reverse? Oh, that's too many. Another reverse. Oh, wow. We got a lot of reverses. We got 10 of Autumn in reverse. That's the 10 of Pentacles. Take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. So remember what I said at the beginning of the message. It's almost like, it's that excuse that keeps being made but I've already invested so much time and energy into this family situation or into this situation in general. It's almost like you feel as if you were to remove yourself from this, you're not going to have a solid foundation to work from. But guess what? That's like tower energy, where it's like it has to come crumbling down for something better to be rebuilt. And I feel like here it feels like you feel like you can't do that, but God is saying, no, that's not true. And Persephone is saying, learn to live within this situation because you will survive. You will get through this. But the other thing I'm getting as well, you may have somebody who is, you may have family members who are holding some kind of financial support over your head, or somebody is holding some kind of financial support over your head that's making you feel like you need to stay because if I don't stay, then I don't get this financial support. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that sounds a lot like what you were going through, but this is how tarot works, okay? You find tarot videos and messages from the divine, from people who already know what's up, okay? Because here's the thing. The blueprint of karma and of our soul's paths are all connected in general. It's like you get a particular outline, right? Where you're put in situations like this that are very similar. Because it could literally be that somebody, I don't know, say you have a best friend who you're so starved for affection or attention from somebody, in a friend group or by this best friend, that they make it a bargaining tool. It's like, well, but you should do this because I paid for dinner the other day, so why can't you just Meanwhile, it might be something that literally affects your health. Do you get me? Okay, we've got the 5 of Winter. Oof. And that 7 of Autumn, clarifying. Walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. Yeah, so you've got people around you right now who are trying to get one over on you. And this also is telling me that you've had too much patience with this situation, okay? You've made excuses. You keep making excuses because it's easier to do that than it is to face the truth and leave. And to leave these people behind. I say people, but oftentimes whenever you're surrounded by individuals who are like this, they have demonic attachments. Or are an actual fucking demon in human clothing, okay? I ain't even playing, so... You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't good. So, oh, we've got another reversal. The world in the reverse with underneath the Queen of Summer in the reverse. Brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that's now complete. So you're not learning the lesson yet. You're continually allowing this to happen. And I know that sounds like harsh in a way because you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, you know, it feels like all the responsibility is on your shoulders. But when it comes to what you're doing in your life, it does come down to that eventually. Yes, are they wrong for doing it? Absolutely. Should they pay for what they've done? Abso-freaking-lutely. But the point is that if you continually allow it to happen, then you are continuing to put yourself in that position and stay in that situation where you're just not getting it yet. And I know I've been there. I literally, I could tell you, I could write a fucking book. But you are not meant to be continuing to just go in fucking circles here. Okay. And this is why this message had to come through tonight. Because like I said, I was not going to do this reading. I was ready to just call it a night. I just soaked my feet in my little spiritual bath. I don't even have a proper bath. So I do my spiritual bath by soaking my feet. Like literally, you use the tools that you have to get the job done. Okay. What's this Six of Spring in the reverse? Oh, this card wants to come out. And okay, Five of Spring. We got another 5 here. 5, 5. You need to embrace change, baby. Okay. Opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people. And that's under the Six of Spring, which is in the reverse, which is very interesting because, like I said, there is either somebody or obviously there are multiple people who are continually doing things on purpose. They know how to play their game in order to suit them because they're like, oh, we can fuck with this person. I know exactly what to say and do to get this person to continue doing what I want them to do and give me that fucking attention. But you're in chaos and conflict and it's not good. I'm picking up people will, I mean, it's a destroying energy. It is a soul sucking, destroying fucking energy here. Ooh, I'll tell you, I feel the fire in my chest. Hold up, let me get a little drink. I keep hearing that song, Never Ending Midnight Sun. It's like, you're like the light in all of the darkness here. You're the midnight fucking sun. They're siphoning off of your light energy. Your life force energy is being drained right now by this fucking situation. What is the Chariot reversed? Nine of Spring. Your wounds are what's keeping you stuck here. Protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. So you may be in a situation where it is going to be very difficult for you to move forward. But it's only as difficult as what you tell yourself it is. Because like I said, God will show you the way as soon as you make the decision and go, I need to get out. So you will get downloads. You will get divine guidance as to how you're going to do this. And even if you're in a space of confusion, and you feel like, oh God, like this is too much. I don't know what to do. Eventually it's going to come. Okay. It is going to come. And maybe this is something that's happened in the past. Like if you're somebody who's watching this and this is something that you have not been in for a while, or like you've already gotten out, there are certain things that might be keeping you stuck because of what's happened here that has kept you in a certain space of stagnancy or funk. Okay. There's some more healing that needs to be done in order to move forward. Maybe you have found yourself in certain situations with other people after getting out of another type of difficult situation where there's certain cycles that are repeating with these new people or newer people, 30-30 on the clock. So 333 is very prominent in this reading, I just want to say. So if you're watching this, that could be something that you've been seeing a lot lately. I'm going to get one more clarifier for each of these, and I'm going to move on to something else. Never ending midnight sun. What the fuck? Okay, I'm not lying. I just heard 3 knocks, and I don't believe... Oh God, someone's at my door. Oh my God. My heart just went a million miles per second there. Somebody ordered food next door. I live in a small apartment that's attached, and I'm 25A. They're number 25. That could be significant, by the way. That number 25 or 2525. Oh my God. That scared the shit out of me. You can tell I live in a situation where I don't like getting knocks on my door. I swear to God. Oh, that freaked me out so bad. Oh, 3133 on the clock. Woo. Okay. That was... Okay. So maybe there is a surprise element to something. Or maybe you're scared of something that's literally nothing. Because it was literally just a delivery guy. 3155 on the clock. That was literally just a food delivery dude at my door. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, who's that? Who's that? Oh shit, oh shit. So it may be a case where there's something that freaks you out about something or a situation that you're in that you need to get out of, or there's a fear that's here, that's present in the situation. 3223 on the clock. So mirroring numbers could be significant. There's a fear that's not, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a fear. It's not real. And that's the other thing. Like, I never believed that I would be able to be where I'm at today, considering all the things I didn't know or what to do or whatever. Like, I had no fucking clue. And there was a lot of fear attached to that for sure. And I can tell you right now, any fears I've ever had have been so much less of an actual issue in actual life than they ever turned out to be. So the fear is, and maybe that's this night of spring as well, is like there's a lot of fear and guardedness within you about something here. And God just by intervening that way is showing you that it's not what you think. It's not what you think it is, okay? All right, so what is this 10 of autumn in the reverse? Whew, goddamn. Woo! Talk about an exhilaration. We have 4 of summer reversed. Being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, discontentment with life. That's underneath the 10 of autumn in the reverse. So the message I'm getting here is do not stay somewhere because you want something. Because, like, say you're staying in a relationship because you're like, well, but I don't want to be alone. I don't like the idea of being alone. Well, guess what, sweetheart? Being alone, especially, you know, when you start to heal what caused you to be in the situation in the first place, is so much better. Being alone and at peace is so much better than being in a space with another person or other people that are not treating you the way you needed to be treated. And it goes back to the old quote, well, maybe not quote, but just a lot of people say like, oh God, I lost my train of thought. Jesus. It'll come back to me. But anyway, you need to not be somewhere you don't belong just because you're not. Oh, that's what it is. It's something to be said for being in a place or a space with people and you still feel lonely. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like you're feeling, like I said, take this as it resonates, because this could be a past situation, this could be a present situation. You know, I don't feel like it's a future situation, because otherwise I don't feel like you'd be, I mean, you might watch this in the future and get this message and it's like, oh shit, I need to listen, because God's been speaking to you about this already. Okay? You may need to speak up for yourself and put your foot down here. Right? What's the Five of Winter? Princess of, we have so many reversals as well, by the way. Princess of Autumn, so that's like the Page of Pentacles. That's in the reverse. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. You may be feeling pressured by people to not do something that you want to do, something that will make you happy, okay? Whether that be a career choice, or whether it be, say you are in a relationship and people are like, no, you can't leave them. No, you got all these people in your fucking ear about it, right? And you just like, you feel like that's what's holding you back here. But it's like, well, look, if you want to stay in a situation that you're not meant to be in, then no, you will not be able to take any steps forward. You're procrastinating here, but it's because of mind games. It's because of manipulation here that you're procrastinating. Okay. World in reverse. The Star. So yeah. Look to the future with hope and optimism, the power of faith to move mountains, happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. So listen, if you are willing to, and I'm getting tingles on my right side, you need to move, baby. You need to move. That is the masculine side of the body. That is movement. That is like, if my leg is tingling like that, that means that you know exactly, if you're watching this, you know exactly what step needs to be taken in order for you to heal. But you need to have hope and faith that you know that you are going to come out of it okay. Nothing is going to harm you. Yes, you may feel fear. Yes, you may feel like you don't have all the answers, but you don't need every answer. You just need the next step. Okay? The next step. Because I'm like that too. Like, if I don't, in my situation, not knowing certain things freaks me the fuck out. But I go right back to God. I'm like, I know you gonna tell me whatever I need to know about what I need to do here when it's time. And I know it sucks. It's not fun, especially if you're somebody who suffers from CPTSD or PTSD, or you're neurodivergent, or you got whatever the fuck going on, right? And having the answers feels like such relief whenever they do come to you. But you can't control when you have those answers. They only come in time. What's the Five of Spring? King of Summer. You are very emotionally intelligent. You already know everything that's going on. 3, 8, 5, 5 on the clock. So 5, 5, 5 could be significant as well. You're being asked to act out of emotional maturity and intelligence here. You know what is going on. You just need to harness that masculine, that inner masculine, mature, emotionally mature energy that you have within, It does say a romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the heart, getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. You need to follow your heart here. Okay? Your heart has been telling you, God has been telling you. And if you've already gone through this situation and you're watching this, you may be somebody who's finally in that King of Summer energy, and anything that's going on, because this could be for somebody who's already away from everything and everyone from this situation here, but they may still be around, okay? They may live in a similar area to you. There may be, talk and triangulation in regards to you or what you're doing, and that's part and parcel to the spiritual path here, because these people, these creatures are never going to fucking get to a point where they're actually going to look in the fucking mirror. They're always going to want to focus on you, 444 on the clock, or 4044, but whatever, that's still 444. So that's significant. You're being protected from all this. And I feel like if you're someone who already went through all this and it's still happening in the background, like you've still got people throwing you negative energies, and there's a lot of chaos and manipulation and bullshit going on, it's like, I feel like you're being told that you just got to keep following your heart, okay? In order for this to not be any kind of, because you may have difficulty at times detaching from what's going on. Like there might still be some wounds that are present that are causing you to give it more thought than it's worth. You know what I'm saying? 4133 on the clock. All right, what's the Nine of Spring? I'm not going to make this too much longer. All right, we got the Prince of Summer, which is like the Page of Cups. Falling in love, suddenly being swept off your feet. The need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. I feel like it's saying that you might be going through some kind of heart opening right now, okay? Where maybe the wounds of the past might have kept you feeling like you can't move forward, or like it's not worth giving new experiences a chance. It's like, I feel as if this is saying that that's changing. Maybe you've been in your head a lot lately about feeling stuck or stagnant, and feeling like you're not headed in the direction you want to be, or you can't move forward into the direction you want to move forward into. But this is saying to me that you need to allow the healing to happen and for these things to come naturally, because if you push and you're still in a space where there's something that needs to be addressed emotionally, it's not going to work for you. This also, with this page, or sorry, Princess of Autumn in the reverse and the Prince of Summer here, there could be children involved in a situation here, okay? There could be a certain level of distress if that's the case, that is causing you, to feel like you're continually being struck and wounded. But I feel like you're coming out of this, or you're going to come out of this soon, okay? Bottom of the deck is the Lovers reversed. So yeah, definitely a soul tie that's breaking apart right now, whether it be that you are leaving a situation right now or this is already broken. Maybe this is a message of, showing your journey as far as how far you've come, but where you're going now. And it's basically saying that, like, the residue or any energies that are still attached to this situation are being removed. But it's up to you to continue to move forward and allow things to happen at an evolutionary standpoint, meaning that transmutation and alchemization doesn't just happen because you snap your fingers. You have to allow it. So if, say, you're in your home and you're starting to feel upset or sad or scared or whatever about a situation, you need to know 4444 on the clock as I'm saying that. You need to know how to move through that, but also address it and feel it and tell yourself, like, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to survive whatever this is that is coming up for me right now, because it can feel really, it can feel like hell. You know, it can feel like you're in a fiery landscape that you know, it's like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to do this, you know? But I feel like that initial message from Persephone is, why do you think I had to stay down in the underworld? To learn how to move through it. So I'm going to get I'll get one oracle pull before I end this reading, but I really feel like if you're watching this right now, whatever the case may be, you know where you're being guided. This is a major confirmation for you. And yeah, you need to continue to walk through your heart space. And if you're not already doing that, then you're being asked to begin doing that. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to pull from? We're going to do Moonology. Since it's the full moon, we'll honor the full moon in Aquarius. And let's get some closing messages for this collective. You are the light in the darkness, okay? You came here to be initiated through all this. And yes, it can be very exhausting and it can feel just awful at times, but you need to find inner peace in using the tools that you have in order to keep moving through these situations, or whatever this is that is feeling so heavy and so difficult for you right now, okay? All right, I'm going to get, I think I'm going to get two. All right, what do we have to close out this reading? Spirit, please. We've got, you are good enough. Okay, that's the full moon in Virgo. So we do have a full moon card coming out. You need to know that you deserve to be happy. And even if there are still difficulties that are going on in this situation that we're talking about here, as long as you understand your worth and where you know you need to be in order to be happy and to have peace, you will succeed in all of this, okay? So someone here, you could have self-worth issues that you still need to work through here, and that you feel like, you know, well, but this is all I deserve. No. Baby, no. It's just not. That ain't it. You did not come to this earth for other people to continue to treat you like shit, okay? Your dreams need a practical plan. So yeah, you are being called to take step by step this journey to live a dream, not to stay in a hellscape. Okay? And even if, like I said, you're removed from a situation, you could still feel like you're being wounded by it, but you have things that you know in your heart that you want to do, that you want to achieve, where you want to go. And God is saying, you can do it. You cannot dwell in this. Okay? Bottom of the deck, a time to give rather than take. We got more Virgo. So Virgo could be significant. We also have Taurus here. So you have full moon and a new moon in Virgo. So you could be someone who struggles with overgiving because your self-worth is not where it's supposed to be. And if you've already been healing through that kind of wound, you are being asked to give to yourself. Give to yourself. Stop giving to other people. Okay? So that's the end of this reading. I really hope it resonated for someone watching this. If it did and you're not already subscribed, please think about subscribing, giving the video a like. If you're interested in a personal reading, I have my email down in the description below. It's mothermarytarot@gmail.com. I also have my PayPal there. If you feel called to donate, I would really appreciate it. It would really help me in my situation and the channel. If not, that is okay too. I'm really glad you're here, and I really hope that whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, you know, I send you love and I send you healing, and yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you next time.